I'm going to talk about standard divisions of the beat in music, how musicians jump to higher and lower speeds of note, and these jumps are quantized with specific shifts in speed. We're going to start off with crotchets, what we could call a one beat note. Actually, in the US, it's called a quarter beat, but we'll stick to the on this side of the pond with regard to lengths of notes. So crotchets are one beat notes. 4 crotchets in a bar is what we call 4/4. When an orchestral conductor or a drummer or anyone counts in a piece of music at the beginning, normally they count in crotchets. Hence the conductor would go 1, 2, 3, 4, and each arm movement would be a crotchet or one beat. We split the notes from one beat to smaller divisions of the beat as the notes get faster. So a one beat note would last for the length of one beat, completely independent of how quick the beat is. So a one beat note in a really fast piece of music is going to be pretty quick, whereas a one beat note in a slow piece of music is going to be the opposite, slow. And most music is written or transcribed somewhere in the middle, so a crotchet or one beat note makes some sort of logical sense. It's not too slow and not too quick. If we want to go quicker, we can always go quicker by splitting up the crotchets, and that's exactly what we're talking about. Splitting up the crotchets is divisions of the beat, dividing the beat. So if I play along to crotchets, just one note, so I'll play along to crotchet beats, one note per beat. Whoops, pressed the wrong button. Here we go. So there's our metronome now. Okay. One beat notes. Very simple. One beat per note. A lot of simple tunes, nursery rhymes and the like, will be predominantly one beat, one note per beat. Doesn't matter whether we're playing chords or whatever, it doesn't matter what instrument we play, one note per beat means exactly the same. One per beat. So that's our basic bottom line, that's where we start off. Of course we can have a 2-beat note, but we're going to divide the beat, we're not going to glue it to other beats and make longer notes. This video is about shortening the notes, making them quicker, more notes per beat. So the next level from one note per beat is 2 notes per beat. Really simple. 2 notes per beat are called quavers. So on each beat we have a on, off, on, off, on, off. If you tap your foot to crotchets, one beat notes, every time your foot goes up, that's halfway between the beat. So you've got the down, up, quaver, 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 quaver. Simple. Quavers. 2 notes per beat. Can be very quick though, if the beat is really quick. So quavers are not necessarily quick, not necessarily slow. It all depends on the overall speed of music. But I've got the metronome set for 97, so everything is going to be at the same speed today. So if I play quavers along to the beat. Simple. Your foot would go on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And musically we count like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. We count using the same number of sounds as we play. So if we play quavers, we count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and etc. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Simple. So we've got crotchets and quavers. We've got one beat notes, and we've got notes 2 to the beat. In the US, they call these quarter beats and eighth beats, but I won't. I never said that. Let me play a few things against the metronome using crotchets and quavers. There you go. It's not going to change the world, but crotchets and quavers. Most tunes stick largely to crotchets and quavers. Etc. Okay, simple. That's it. Done. Just put the kettle on. The next level. So we've got one beat, one note per beat. We've got 2 notes per beat. 2 notes in the space of one beat. What do you reckon the next division is going to be? Well, I reckon it might be 3. 3 in the space of one beat. Now we call these triplets because triple means 3. Triple G, 3. 3 in the space of one beat. But when we talk about these notes, or when we write them down in traditional music, we write them down as quavers, but they're special quavers. They're super quick quavers. So they're quavers that are no longer 2 per beat, they're actually 3 per beat. But we still write them as quavers because we have a limit to the amount of signs we use in traditional music. So we still write them and we still call them triplet quavers, which are different from quavers. So triplet quavers are 3 in the space of 2 quavers. So they're different length of note, even though they're both called quavers. Triplet quavers, 3 in the space of one beat. 3 in the space of one beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If we want to count them individually. If we're playing along to some sort of visual cue, like a conductor, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 in the space of each beat. Now, that's quite enough notes for a lot of music. We can practice those if you're a beginner to all this rhythm stuff. We can practice that. We can go from 1 beat per note, crotchets, to 2 beats per note, quavers, to 3 beats per note, triplet quavers. And it's good to practice them back to back in the same event. So we can go back to crotchets, quavers, triplet quavers, back to quavers, crotchets, crotchets, crotchets. If you can go jump from, because these jumps are quantized in that they are specific shifts. If we can jump from one to the other with ease, then we're being musical. That's what musicians do. They jump from one division of the beat to another. And they don't invariably, 99.9% of the time, they don't do anything in between. They jump from one to the other. They jump from 2 notes per beat to 1 note per beat, to 3 notes per beat, to, as we'll see in a minute, 4 notes, 6 notes, 8 notes per beat. They'll jump from one to the other. Quantized. Okay, the next level up. We're getting quicker every time, so it's a level up in speed. We're going from 3 notes per beat to 4 notes per beat. These are called semiquavers. 2 notes is a quaver, 4 notes is a semiquaver. In other words, they're half the size of a quaver. We call them semiquavers. We can call them sixteenths as well. Some countries call them sixteenths because there's 16 in a bar, or in a bar of 4. In a bar of 4 crotchets at least. 4 in the space of one beat. So this is starting to get quick, isn't it? There's our beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 in the space of 1 beat. So we're 4 times as quick as we started. We've gone from 1 note per beat to 2 notes per beat to 3 notes per beat to 4 notes per beat. That will pretty much cover you for 99.5% of all songs ever written. That's it. Especially if the tempo is quite quick. This tempo is not quick, but if you speed it up, you can speed up the tempo so that those semiquavers are almost impossible to play, depending on what instrument you play them on. Quite easy to play quick on guitar. You try playing it on the French horn. Not quite the same thing. So we've got a massive range in the length of note. And we can even glue our crotchets together to make minims, which are 2 beat notes, and as many minims as we want to make really long beat notes. Long numbers of beat notes. The next level up, we've gone from semiquavers, now we're going to go to triplet semiquavers. The triplets are always quicker than the note that they are, the word we use to describe them. So semiquavers are 4 in the beat. Triplet semiquavers are 6 in the space of 1 beat. Diddle 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 did. Very quick. Diddle diddle do. I can't even say the numbers. 1 before something like that. Diddle dum, 1 2 3 4 5 6. I'm sure someone would be better doing that than me. Diddle diddle 1 2 3 4 5 6 in every beat. Triplet semiquavers. And in traditional music, they're written exactly the same as semiquavers, but they have a little. Whoops. They're grouped together with a little 3 above, which shows that they are 3 in the space of 2. 3 semiquavers in the original space of 2 semiquavers. For some reason in traditional music we don't actually have a name for those notes. We call them triplet semiquavers rather than have a specific name for them, like quaver, crotchet, minim, etc. But it works pretty well. Orchestral members don't complain that they haven't got a word for triplet semiquavers. Or maybe some do. Everyone's moaning this year, let's face it. 6 in the space of 1 beat. The next level up, surprise surprise, is 8 in the space of 1 beat. These are called Demi Semiquavers. So we do have a specific name for these. Demi Semiquavers. Demi Semiquavers. Demis. Semiquavers. Triplet semiquavers. I suppose Demi Semiquavers is still using the word semiquaver, isn't it? God knows what demi means. Maybe it means 8. 8 in the space of 1 beat. So now we're super quick, aren't we? Super quick. Very quick, I'm not going to try to say that. Those are 8 in the space of 1 beat. 8, 1, 8, 1, 8, 1. 8 in the space of 1 beat. And this is a slow tempo. I won't be able to play that depending on how far the tempo goes up. If you want to make, not that there is one, but if there was the best guitarist in the world, or fastest, if you wanted to make them make a mistake, just put the tempo up, because you'll get to a point where they go, ah! And they can't play anymore. It doesn't matter who you are. But of course at this speed, it's pretty playable if you can move a plectrum quickly. Demi Semiquavers, 8 in the space of 1 beat. So now we've got a ridiculous range of length of note. We're going from 1 beat notes, crotchets, to 8 in the space of 1 beat Demi Semiquavers. And to be honest, most musicians come across Demi Semiquavers about once every leap year. There you go. Like I said before, most melodies can be written simply with crotchets, quavers, and some semiquavers probably. And if it's an odd number of notes in the beat, then we have triplets. Notice the triplets are all odd numbers. Triplet quavers, 3 in the space of a beat. Triplet semiquavers, 6 in the space of a beat. I don't know if there's a name for 9. I've never come across it. Thank God. Okay, so how do we practice these? Well, let's pretend that this is. Let's pretend that we're starting off at a lower level. Practice along to metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good to have an idea of where you are in the bar. If it's a bar 4, which let's face it, 99% of rock and roll is, or everything is pretty much. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. That's not hard, is it? But if I put it at 250 BPM, it would be quite hard. Now, go from that level to the next level up. The next quantized level. 2 in the space of 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then back down again. Get used to counting as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And in a nutshell, musicians count what they play. So if they play a note, they count it. I'm only playing on the beat, so I'm only counting the beats. If I play on the beat and off the beat, I count on the beat and off the beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. If I play 3 notes per beat, we can go from 3 to 2, 3, 2, 1. 1 per beat, 2 per beat, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Very good practice for beginners, going from 2 notes per beat to 3 notes per beat to 4 notes per beat. All of these notes per beat have got to be even. So what will often go awry is when a beginner musician who's trying to improve their counting and timing, when they get to the 3, it will be a bit wonky. The 3 have got to be equal in space, like all of our notes of the same delineation, quavers, crotchets, semiquavers, they're all equal one to the other. They're all equal. So we've got to get the 3 has got to be exactly separated from each other. Ba 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 ba, not ba 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 ba. Very common thing for beginners to do when they're putting 3 beats in the space. Can't speak. 3 beats in the space of 1. They've got to be equal. Da, 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 da. Not. Or. That's a completely different thing. That's not a division, is it? That's an unequal. A division is something that's equal, or it should be. And we can go all the way from 1 per beat to 8 per beat. As long as you do what you're intending to do, that's fine. So we can hear what I'm intending to do now. I'll jump around from 1 to 8 in the beat randomly. And when I get to 8, because it's hard, depending on how hard you think it is. If you think it's really hard, just play it for 1 beat. In other words, just play the 8 in a beat for 1 beat and then jump down and have a relax on a lower speed, and then jump up again. Okay, jump up to a really difficult level and then jump down and relax for a bit. If you've got reasonable plectrum technique, you can probably do, at this tempo, you can probably do 8 in the space of 1 for 1 beat, but then it will start to get hard because your hand will start to get a bit tired, and normally that means your muscles stiffen up. So doing it for 1 beat is fine. Doing it for 16 beats is very hard. So when you first do those 8 in the space of 1, just do it for 1 beat. That was 4 beats. That's hard. 1 beat is not too bad. I'll do it for a few beats. It's pretty hard. At the end there, it's pretty hard because obviously your hand is not magic, is it? Your muscles get tired, etc., etc. But guitarists play too quick for most of the time anyway, so that's fine. Speed doesn't necessarily mean you're good. It just means you're quick. So very good to practice jumping from one division to another. Shut up. Jumping from one division to another, from one level to another. Bear in mind that anything else that's not what I've done today, what we've looked at today, is largely unneeded. If you see something like 5 in the space of 1 or 7 in the space of 1 transcribed, then yeah, that's a pretty unusual day, but it may well have been unintended by the original player. Who knows? Guitarists don't tend to jump around to weird numbers of notes per beat. They tend to stick, like all musicians, they tend to stick to 2, 3, 4, 6 or 8 or 1 notes per beat. Sticking 5 or 7 per beat is not unheard of. Obviously you do get it in very technical music, but also guitarists play that type of thing by accident, and then afterwards they say, oh, I meant to do that. Playing semiquaver triplets, in other words 6 in the beat, sloppily or in a really difficult part, or where it's just a bit too quick, you're probably going to accidentally produce 5 notes to the beat. And then whoever transcribes it as 5 notes to the beat. And we all think that the original player meant to put it 5 in the beat. They might have done, but likewise, they may well not have. But then the guitarist says, oh, I meant that. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so when you practice, go from the slow ones, jump up, jump down, jump up, jump down, mix them up, get to the faster ones, but when you hit those really fast speeds, only play it for 1 beat and then drop down again. If you can get used to playing 1 beat at a very fast speed, semiquavers, Demi Semiquavers, etc., then if you do that regularly, you'll be able to glue those beats together, and then you'll be able to do 4 beats and 8 beats and 16 bars and etc. And you'll be able to go on for a long time, depending on whether you want to or not. I mean, it's very rare in music to get loads and loads of Demi Semiquavers, one after the other, for bars and bars and bars on end. Normally, we would mix up the number of notes in the beat much more. That's what will normally make the music interesting, unless you get stuck into listening to music where everything is 16ths. And then you're probably a guitar player with a distortion pedal, but there's no law against it. Okay? I hope some of that makes sense. Goodbye.